the aspiration for a Jewish homeland, peaceful nuclear power, 6 million Jews' legitimacy of continued Israeli settlement, the need for a Palestinian state, free to choose and live their faith. The Holy Quran tells us, the Talmud tells us, the Holy Bible tells us. We cannot impose peace. Two peoples with legitimate aspirations, each with a painful history that makes compromise elusive. The United States does not accept the legitimacy of continued Israeli settlements. This construction violates previous agreements and undermines efforts to achieve peace.
These statements indicate that, unfortunately, President Obama now fully subscribes to the Arab revisionist version of history. By this, he is undermining the very right to Israel to exist in her own land. Our very presence here in our own land is now being deemed illegitimate. Illegitimate is the will of the God of Israel illegitimate. Our right to be here is based on one thing and one thing alone, that this land was bequeathed to us by the God of Israel, and nothing else is necessary. As if the settlements are the only obstacle to peace. The fact is that there were no settlements in 1948. The Palestine Liberation Organization, bloody terrorist organization which has turned into the Palestinian Authority, the same organization responsible for the death of countless Americans. That organization was founded before there was any Israeli presence in the West Bank. It had nothing to do with settlements. The issue is the existence of Israel.
When Jerusalem is a secure and lasting home for Jews and Christians and Muslims, and a place for all of the children of Abraham to mingle peacefully together, as in the story of Islam.
What is the sudden interest by the whole world in the internationalization of Jerusalem? And furthermore, what is this Muslim interest in Jerusalem? Where does Jerusalem figure in Islam? Jerusalem was never holy to the Muslims. Jerusalem is not mentioned in the Quran. The Muslims bow down and they face Mecca and they turn their backsides up towards what the Jewish people consider to be the holiest place on earth, their location of the Holy of Holies on the Temple Mount. Jerusalem is not even mentioned once in the Quran, but yet mentioned over 700 times in the Torah. Jerusalem was the seat of the monarchy of Israel. Jerusalem was reigned over by King David and King Solomon. There was Jewish presence in the land of Israel and in Jerusalem 1,600 years before Muhammad ever appeared on the scene.
Islam has a proud tradition of tolerance. I saw it firsthand as a child in Indonesia. People in every country should be free to choose and live their faith based upon the persuasion of the mind and the heart and the soul.
You know, you say that Islam has a proud tradition of tolerance. Let me tell you what goes on here in Jerusalem at the place of the Holy Temple, the Temple Mount. If Jews or Christians try to pray there, they are prevented by the Muslims who control the Temple Mount from praying to God. They are physically prevented from praying. They'll be dragged off the Mount, they're observed, they're watched, they're searched first before they enter to make sure they don't have any Bible, any sort of paraphernalia. The expression of any other religious sentiment other than Islam is forbidden at the Temple Mount by the Muslim authorities. That's tolerance. That's the proud tradition of the tolerance of Islam.
This bond is unbreakable. It is based upon cultural and historical ties, and the recognition that the aspiration for a Jewish homeland is rooted in a tragic history that cannot be denied.
Linking the right of Israel to exist in this land with the Holocaust is obscene. It's a perversion of history. And it's such a cynical manipulation of the tragedy of the Holocaust, which was a great tragedy, but it is not Israel's original tragedy. Israel existed in this land long before the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a tragedy. The original tragedy was our exile from this land, which enabled such a thing as the Holocaust to happen. But we are not here out of compassion or pity because of what recently happened to us. We are here because we are entitled to this land. This was the land of King David and King Solomon. In summing up the right to Israel to live as a sovereign nation in her own land, why start history from the Holocaust? What happened to King David? What happened to King Solomon? What happened to the fact that Israel is the land of the Bible? What happened to the fact that Israel had a glorious commonwealth here? That Israel brought to the entire world the message of the one true God? Starting history from the Holocaust? Is that not an obscenity?
Tomorrow I will visit Buchenwald, which was part of a network of camps where Jews and any nation, including Iran, should have the right to access peaceful nuclear power if it complies with its responsibilities under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty.
So what is the idea here of, on the one hand, telling us that Holocaust denial is a crime, going to lay a rose at Buchenwald, but yet welcoming Iran to the arena of nuclear power, the same country whose official government policy is one of anti-Semitism to the point of calling for the extermination of the State of Israel, the same country which officially hosted a conference on Holocaust denial. I want to know if President Obama was thinking about that when he laid the rose at Buchenwald.
The Holy Quran tells us, O mankind, and we have made you into nations and tribes, so that you may know one another. The Talmud tells us the whole of the Torah is for the purpose of promoting peace. The Holy Bible tells us, blessed are the peacemakers.
President Obama is not a messiah. He's a marauder. He's a robber. And he's robbing the Jewish people of everything in one fell swoop. He's robbing the Jewish people of their legacy, of their heritage, and of their connection to the land. Well, you notice at the conclusion of his speech that Obama quoted from the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible, but brought the Torah down a notch. Instead of calling it the Holy Torah, he informs us that the Talmud teaches us that the Torah is all about peace. But what about the order? The order, the Torah, Judaism is the mother of all religions. And just as the Torah preceded the Quran, and just as the Torah preceded the New Testament, the Jewish people's presence in the land of Israel precedes Islam and precedes Christianity. President Obama, perhaps you would be well advised to consider this verse from the Holy Torah and this one from the book of Jeremiah, where the prophet tells us, Israel is holy to the Lord, the first of his crop. All who devour it will be held guilty. Evil shall come upon them. The word of the Lord.